Good morning, Saturday morning here on Clocking the Gallop, and I'm joined by Lyle Cooper for today's preview. There's racing on the inside track at Turffontein today. Both of us will be there in different roles. Lyle, you presenting. I'm up in the commentary box today for 9 races. It's going to be another hot day today, but there was a 30% chance of thunderstorms. Have they got that right?
I doubt it, but I hope they're right, Nico. We really need the rain. Even if we have to sit there and wait and let the thunder showers go, we need it. It's time.
Okay, it's about 28 or 29, so it's a bit cooler than it has been during the week.
Yeah.
We've been over 30 during the week, so just a bit lower than that. Track condition good, penetrometer 21. We're on the inside track again. False rail is 4 meters out in the back straight to 7 meters out in the bend and a 7-meter spur at the 500-meter marker. 2 jockeys not riding today. Now, Loom Kotwa only had the one ride. He had the ride on Super Silvano. That now has been taken by Diego de Gavea in a later race. But Muzi Yeni came adrift of his horse on Thursday in that last race, I think it was. Didn't ride yesterday, so that 48-hour rule applies. He has got a sore shoulder, so should be seen back in action. Well, he's effectively back in action, can be back in action from tomorrow onwards. So we wish Muzi a quick recovery. Okay, Lyle, what does the card look like?
I'm worried about this card, Nico, because so many of them are coming back from rest. So this card could be good, but it could produce quite a few results because of the fact that a lot of the horses are coming back. They're having their prep runs for bigger races coming on. So I'm a bit nervous of this card, Nico, to be honest.
Okay, well, let's run through it and see what we can come up with together. I'm going to share the betting screen now for the races. Let's go to the first of 9 today, which is an early start for us at 12:05. It's a maiden over 2,000 meters. Changes in race 1, there are none as of 8 a.m. this Saturday morning, which is when we are recording this. Let's have a look at it. The money is for number 4, Sky Jet, opened up at 5-2, is now half those odds basically, into 13-10. So that is the money horse here. 28-10 Atlantic City, 4-1 Prime Example, and 7-1 Alphatic and Libeccio. The money on this favorite already, Sky Jet. They've taken the bigger prices. What do you suggest?
Yeah, I think this is the right one, Nico. Sky Jet, Son of Ideal World, will love the 2,000 meters. Alec Laird's comments, nice horse, was green the first few. Last time out, the pace did not suit, and he's above average. So that's good enough for me from Alec's mouth. I think he'll improve a lot. Number 5, Prime Example, good run last time out, finished just in front of Merciful, who I think's got a bit of a sneaky chance as well with Pierce Stradum. And then obviously number 7 after an improved run last time, and then the one Atlantic City who's quite exposed. So I think for me, number 4, Sky Jet's the right one, Nico.
I don't know if you got any comments from Mike de Kock about number 3, Alphatic. Now, he's been off the track a long time. I mean, he made his debut on the opening day of the season last year, 2021, and he hasn't been seen since, but he's well bred. The mother,
yes,
Anha, is a half-sister to the well-performed Socrat, who's now at stud. So it comes from a terrific pedigree. I don't know whether you had any comments because he's been gelded now.
Yes, Mike said obviously he had a knee chip. He is capable and he is fit. So good point, Nico.
Yeah. Okay, I just didn't know much about him. I'm just a bit concerned where he fits into the picture. But outside of that, when I had a look at this race, it also does point to Sky Jet. I was just a bit concerned about the Cox runner here, the 7-1 chance Alphatic, and hopefully we'll be able to see him on the track and make a comment a bit later on as to what he looks like. Okay, race 2 is the start of the bipod. It's off at 12:40. It's a middle stakes over 2,600 meters. Here, number 5, Great Affairs, ridden by Keegan de Mello. That's a jockey change. Number 6, Afrod. The blinkers come off and the cheek pieces go on Afrod. And if we look at the betting now, the favorite in the race is number 2, White Fang. In fact, no, it's not. It's Arlington Action, just narrowly. 7 Arlington Action, 18-10. 2 White Fang. They renewed their rivalry 2-1. And then outside of those, 11-2 Southern Star and Great Affair. 7-1 Captain Course. There's money for that from 12s to 7s. What did you think of this long distance race?
Well, funny enough, I think the betting's right. I think this is a match race, Nico, between number 2 White Fang and the 7 Arlington Action. Both of them running well. The rest are going to have to just improve slightly. A horse like Great Affairs up in trip here, so we'll see how he goes. But White Fang will be my first selection. Adam, as you did say, obviously very consistent. He's in a good space, and he likes the going on top. So as soon as the rain comes, not that he'll lose his form, but I don't think he'll be as effective. So today, White Fang for me from Arlington Action, and then Great Affair if he stays. I thought he could be a bit of a danger. I don't think there's too much else. I mean, obviously 4 and 6 if you're playing wide, but for me, 2 to beat home number 7.
Now, interesting you mentioned Great Affair, Lyle, because I think he'll absolutely relish the trip. He's my first choice, funny enough, is Great Affair.
Okay, good.
I'm taking a position on the run to Chewbacca. We have to go back to Scottsville to April this year, where he ran 1.4 lengths behind Chewbacca. And I think if you go back to one of the feature races in Natal, Chewbacca ran 6th or 7th in a feature stayers race. It might have been the Gold Cup. I'll just quickly have a look. But on that run, I think Great Affair is going to get this trip. And I've taken a position here that I think he'll go close to winning. I do like White Fang, but Diego de Gavea rides it for the very first time today. And one wonders, what will happen there. He's been riding very well, though, for the Aussies, hasn't he?
His strike rate at the moment is phenomenal, by the way, Diego.
Absolutely, yeah. When you look at their strike rate, it is very, very good. But, so look, I've taken a position on that, but I'm obviously wary of the horses that Arlington Action and White Fang that run together all the time. Just quickly, I'm going back to that Chewbacca just to see which race it was. It was the, just hang on a second, Chewbacca, there it is here. The Gold Cup. It ran 5th in the Gold Cup, Chewbacca. And it was beaten 2.45 lengths by Shangani. Shangani gave it 5 kilos, but the point is that it ran that well in the Gold Cup to suggest that Great Affair can be thrust into the mix over here. Right, let's move on to the third race, the start of the PA.
I like what you say, Nico. So Barpot would go 275. Thank you. Okay. I agree with you. That's a nice inclusion.
Okay, let's move on to the third at 1:15. It's a middle stakes, 1,000 meters they run over here. Let's go to the changes in the third. Number 5, Ipico, is going for 4 in a row. Richard Faree takes them out now from Muzieni, who's indisposed today. Now, when we look at the betting, Ipico is at 14 to 10. We've then got Taikonaut, who's been backed in from 9 to 2 to 5 to 2. So all the money is for Taikonaut. 11 to 2 about Big Eyed Girl, 7 to 1 Chayavana, and 8 to 1 Rosara and Flower Bomb. Give us your thoughts here. Do you agree on these money horses, Ipico and Taikonaut?
Yeah, it's a good little race, this one, Nick. I'm leaning towards Taikonaut, the son of Twice Over. JP van der Merwe for Roy Magna. Those last 2, very unlucky. There's plenty more to come from him. He'll be my first selection. I also like a bit of Rosara, coming back from a rest at 93 days. So that price, certainly have a bit of an each way with Ryan Munger aboard. Merit rating at the highest, as is the case with number 5, Ipico. But Ipico's got a lot of improvement to come. But I thought that Rosara could be on the scene here and runs well fresh. So for me, 6, 3, and 5. And there are also horses like number 4, 7, and even number 8 over the page that could be dangerous, but we can't tip them all. So I'm going Taikonaut.
Okay, so Taikonaut makes his seasonal debut, comes off a nice handy weight of 54 kilos. He's been backed in, as you can see, from 9 to 2 now into 9 to 4. So his odds have been slashed in half. I like your thinking here on Rosara. I don't know whether you can see my book over here, what it says there.
No, can't see it. No, I'm on my phone, so I can't. Runs well fresh. Yes, I've got the same thing.
Runs well fresh.
Can you see mine? I don't know if you're able to pick up mine. Runs well fresh. Look at the.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Yes, yeah. So we've made exactly the same point about Rosara. I think she'll run a forward race. Now, you'll hear whether or not she's in contention, because the Fortune team have now bought the private box right next door to the commentary box.
Oh, no.
And that for me, we've had some very loud connections around us. The late Eddie Habib and the Tyrone Zaki box used to be on our right as you look out on the course. But the Fortunes have now taken the left-hand box, and you will know what I'm talking about. Ashley Fortune. And Andrew, for that matter. If their runners are in contention, I don't think even I'll be able to drown their sound out. So
if Rosario wins, you will hear Ashley Fortune screaming alongside your commentary.
Correct. So I'm just making people aware, not only that one, but any Fortune horse, if it comes up on the inside track at Turffontein, there'll be a hell of a noise. Anyway, I give Pico a chance, obviously. It's going for 4 in a row. I give Taikonaut a chance. I think that he's a fair sort. So I made it between those ones in the third. Let's move on to the start of the Pick Six. The all-important Pick Six, race 4, is a progress plate for 3-year-old fillies. It's run at 10-2. It's over 1,450 meters. And here, number 2, Ororari Gold, is the mount of Cabello Matsunyani. Also, they put blinkers on our Ben Mag horse, Ready to Fly. Now, she makes her seasonal debut as well. Mike de Kock coming through and saying, we're trying the blinkers on. And he says that she'll run a good enough type of race. He really thinks pretty highly of Ready to Fly. But the money here, early money, was for Captain Peg, who has young Siyanda Sasiba on for the first time, backed in from 5-2 to 18-10. There's now a bit of support for both Rock the Fox and Ororari Gold, 3-1 and 7-2. And then Quantum attracted some support, number 7 into 6-1. Let's get your thinking here. Obviously, these 3-year-old fillies up against each other. It is at conditions type weights here because of the number of wins that the horses have. So the more number of wins, the more weight you carry. But Siyanda Sasiba takes 4 kilos off Captain Peg. What's your first choice?
Nico, this is a race. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier when I said that the rest, this is where the rests become a bit of an issue. So Captain Peg, Ororari Gold, Cold Hard Stare, they all racing fit. But I'm still going to lean towards Rock the Fox. Sean Terry, Kelvin Abib, that run last time in the Group 1 was absolutely brilliant. 55 kilograms, dropping in trip here. Sean Terry says the following: she is a little underdone, will need a bit of match fitness, but he said, I hope she gets the job done. So for me, that's fairly positive. That will be my first selection, but we have to back her up because of her having the rest. Obviously, number 2, Ororari Gold, well held by Rock the Fox on the Group 1 run. But number 1, Captain Peg, with a 4 off, obvious danger. And then horses like number 3, none other, probably not today. And number 6, you're Ready to Fly. On that debut run, interesting that Ready to Fly actually at the weights could turn that around with Captain Peg. So, yeah, I see what you mean when Mike rates her. But to cut a long story short, I'm still going to be probably leaning towards Rock the Fox, Nico.
Yeah. Well, look, I took the 25-1 Rock the Fox to win that day. I was gutted because it got nabbed. Well, it didn't get nabbed. It didn't get there. It didn't get there in the last stride to beat Canadian Summer. So I did get a bit of the place money that day. But I also thought Rock the Fox at the weights here. I mean, she receives 2 kilos from Captain Peg and she receives 3 kilos from Ororari Gold. And I think that could well thrust her into the limelight again today. So I'm a Rock the Fox man too. I see where you're coming from. I'm hoping for Ready to Fly to run a better race than it did last time out in Durban. And I respect Captain Peg because she is 1-3 on the trot. And just the booking of the rider is a bit concerning. You can obviously know why they booked the apprentice to get the weight off. Sometimes it has the adverse effect because of the inexperienced rider. I don't know. Look, I've got to put her in because that is an unknown factor. But if Diego was riding her, is her normal
ride, be more confident.
Then I'd be a lot more confident. Yeah. Okay, let's go to race.
Nico, if I can, Nico, just to stay with that for 1 second. I mean, Captain Peg won the Fillies made 76 last time.
Yes.
And the time was 89.14, which is not particularly good. And Rock the Fox flashed up to run second in a Group 1. Yeah. And now there's 2 kilograms in it. So, if they were matched ready, I'd be quite confident in Rock the Fox.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's see what transpires there. We'll go on to the 5th race, which is the equivalent, but for the Colts and Geldings, although, as you know, in open races, fillies can enter. Now, the interesting move here is what Sean Tarry has done with Bless My Stars. He doesn't obviously want to run Bless My Stars and Rock the Fox together, so he split them up. And he's put the filly up in the colts race, which is a very interesting move because she gets the sex allowance here, and she comes in with just 54 kilograms. So she's the lowest weighted horse is Bless My Star. She's at 33 to 10. But when we go to the actual betting, the actual favorite is Quantum Theory number 1 at 3 to 1. You've got Bless My Stars 33 to 10. You've got Profit at 7 to 2. And then Laguna Verde and Boisterous, both shortening in a bit to 5 and 6 to 1, respectively. I like a horse here. And I thought this horse would go fairly close to winning. But once again, it's a bit of a gamble. What do you like?
Yeah, I want to hear what you actually like. Again, I thought a good little race, this one. Sean Tarry says, Bless My Stars. Will be running on. She's a tricky little filly. This race will bring her on and might just get away with it. So obviously she's good, but she's got a few issues as far as mentalness. So obviously, just she said she's tricky. So good horse. Obviously, I love Ayafriakatul. I love that horse, but I'm going to be ending up going with Profit. Marco van Rensburg for Corner Express from that draw. I mean, you just look at those form lines, all fantastic. Yes, Quantum Theory beat Profit last time, but with the draw in Profit's favour, I'm certainly going to be leaning towards 2. Obviously, 1's a big player. I'm looking forward to see this filly, and then maybe a horse like, I wonder if you're not going to think of Boisterous here after that fantastic run behind Pyromaniac last time. So I wouldn't let it loose either.
Yeah, you haven't mentioned the horse I like. My first choice is actually Laguna Verde. Now, so I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I like him. The fact that he's been gelded is, look, he may need the run. I don't know what Lucky Hudalakis' comments were. I don't know if you've got them. But he may, and he's pretty spot on. When Lucky gives his comments, he's pretty spot on. But we'll find out a bit later on from him. Anyway, he's been gelded. Okay, that's the first bit, is that I think he needed gelding. If you go back on a few of the runs, he's got Quantum Theory beat on the run on the 12th of June. Got it absolutely thumped, actually, on that run. And then on the 2 Cousin Casey runs, he comes out very well in with a horse like Profit. So my top choice here is the 5 to 1 runner number 3, Laguna Verde. I put him in with a chance. But I respect the filly at the bottom only because she is getting the weight from these other horses. And you know what? If that earlier horse runs well and wins Rock the Fox, then that thrusts this horse right into it, Bless My Stars, doesn't it? Because they finished on top of each other there. And in the previous race, Rock the Fox is carrying 55, and this is carrying 54. It'll make it much tighter affair. So we want to see both of them being trained by Terry, how they go, how one goes to get the other one in. So for at the end of the day, I've put Laguna Verde. I know you sent me some PA numbers. I put in my Laguna Verde. I've always liked Profit as a horse, and I think he's got a chance. And then Bless My Star. So I narrowed it down to those ones. By the way, the pronunciation of the 5, it's been going around. Now, I have to commentate on this, I think, for the first time, although I might have called it first time out on the 8th of May.
Yes, you did.
And I think I called it Yaf Yala Yokel. I've looked it up again.
No,
I'm now going to call it Aya Flatya Yokel.
Okay, that's not bad. It's not bad, but you're leaving out a vowel or 2.
So I'm gonna call it Aya Flatya Yokel. Now, whether that's right or wrong, and whether there is any or are any Icelandic people out there that would like to correct us, come up to the commentary box and call it yourself.
Nico,
yeah,
you just Google it and listen because yours is a bit short. I call it Ayafayakatul, and I know I'm missing a vowel in there because it's just I can't say the whole thing. It's too hard.
Yeah. Well, look, I remember when this horse was bought at the sales, and the owner, Sturgia Parizis, came up and said, "Good luck to you when you commentate this horse."
It's tough.
I said, "Well, aren't you going to change the name at least?" So he said, "No, we're definitely sticking with the name. We're not going to change the name." Anyway, right.
Yeah, good one. And then, Nico, one more thing.
Yes.
One more thing with your Laguna Verde. Takenaut, of course, if Takenaut comes through to win, that really boosts your horse as well. Yeah, that's for sure.
Look, there's ifs and buts with it, but I'm willing to take the 5 to 1 this morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay, we move on to race 6 at 3 o'clock. It's a merit rated 80 handicap. It's over 1,800 meters. Let's just have a look at the changes. I don't know if I gave you the change in the previous race that Diego de Gavea is actually riding number 1, Quantum Theory. I don't think I gave that change.
Oh, was it not? Is it not Josh Solomon's?
On Quantum Theory, I'm talking about in the previous.
Oh, sorry, wrong race. Got you.
In this race, number 1, Tyrus Express is Joshua and Solomon's. You're right about that. Scratching number 10, Player. Those are the changes as we have them on race 6 here. Okay, let's go to the betting. The favourite is the very consistent 5th of July at 33-10 with Fire Lord, who's bidding for the hat trick today at 7-2. 4-1 Romeo's Magic, and then 4-1 Elusive Swan. A very, very competitive handicap race, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not an easy race, this one. Mike Cook did say if staying, or should stay the 1,800 meters, and I can't remember exactly what else he said there, but obviously coming back from a rest, so hoping for a good run. And did he have this other runner in here? No, it's just that one. Yannick, again, yeah, you're right. It's not easy. 5th of July, because of the weight turnarounds, I'm going for this one. I know it's the favourites. I don't like tipping favourites, but on that Jamaida form line, nice form line. The second by an Elusive Swan is 1.5 kilograms better off with Elusive Swan. The Romeo's Magic form line, 1 kilogram better off with Romeo's Magic. So at the weights, I think 5th of July is a big player. I do like a bit of Romeo's Magic again, although held by number 2, Elusive Swan on the Jamaida form line. So this is going in circles here. But 55 drawn 1. Then, of course, Elusive Swan, who's always thereabouts. And my value bet for the race is going to be number 6, Duke of Rain, with Craig Zaki aboard. That run behind Vanderbilt, if can reproduce anything like that, would be very dangerous here.
Yeah, that's the first run behind Vanderbilt. The last time it didn't seem to find its way home in the 10 lengths behind Vanderbilt in its run on the 25th of August. Yeah, it's very competitive. Consistency, it could be a consistency reward for 5th of July because he's always there or thereabouts, and I think he's got to have a big chance. Romeo's Magic is another one that's been ultra consistent since they took the blinkers off him. He's certainly come to light, and he's run some good races. He comes in with a nice galloping weight of 55. The only dark horse in the race for me here, and it's the return to Gauteng for trainer Gavin van Zyl. Now, you'll know that Gavin van Zyl's runners last season were really good, hey? I mean, he brought them up, he trained them well out at Turffontein, and they ran very good races. Now, the only run that Tababuya has had at Turffontein on the inside track, it romped by 7 1/4 minutes. It really romped, and it didn't have the best of draws. It also hasn't got the best of draws today. In fact, it's got the worst of the draw at 9 out of 9 with a scratching of player. But I don't think you can leave it out, Tababuya, the 10-1 chance. And the reason is because of that good win at this track and its only visit here, and the fact that Gavin van Zyl is back, knows what he's up to. He's a veteran trainer now. And, I'd throw that one in the mix too. But I don't know whether he can win it. I certainly think that he'll be on the premises. So for me, 5th of July, Tababuya, maybe Fire Lord, depending on how confident the yard are, and Romeo's Magic. I narrowed it down to those ones.
Like it. And the 5 horse owned by Gary Player in partnership, because Player's scratched, that's quite fitting that.
Yes,
It's a competitive run.
Gary Player invested quite heavily at the recent sales.
Good.
At the 2-year-old sale, he bought quite a few horses. He's getting really interested in the game again, now that he's spending a lot of his time here in the Western Cape. Anyway, let's go on to race 7. It's a Pinnacle Stakes over the mile trip in race 7. The changes with Lune Kotwa not riding number 3, Super Silvano's Diego de Gavea now. They haven't got a rider yet for Perfect Witness. I did speak to Alistair Cohen last night, and they were still at 6s and 7s as to who to replace Muzi with, because she is a very good filly, Perfect Witness. And there's she's certainly one of the top of the board here, but there's no rider for hers yet. And then you could put a compression mask on number 10, Bard of Avon. Now, the last 3 races I didn't have a look at, so I don't really have an opinion, but I would like you to go through what you think. Out of the Darkness is the favourite here, a weak one at 7-2. Perfect Witness, the filly, is at 4-1. 9-2, Super Silvano. 5-1, Asterix, who now races in the Verner's Silks. 13-2, Zeus. And then 7-1, Irish Tractor. Very, very competitive. Who do you make the horse to beat?
This is where we spoke about the rests. They're all coming off a rest. So as far as the horses, Perfect Witness, on form, she's definitely the one to beat. 53, drawn 2. I did catch Shepherd at the course on Thursday.
Yeah.
I said, Shepherd, how is she? Because she might need the run. So I'll try and catch Alistair and Candice just to check there. But wow, I mean, the form lines literally speak for themselves. On paper with 53, she should be hard to beat. Number 1, Asterix. We'll see how Asterix goes after his rest. Again, the form's all there to see. I mean, beating Sparkling Water, giving 2.5 kilograms. I don't need to add to that. So Asterix on his best. He's a massive player. And then I do like a bit of Super Silvano here. I see it coming to 9-2 now. Nice form as well. Tries the course for the first time and very versatile as well. And then over the page, obviously number 7, Out of the Darkness. I didn't think this one should be the favorite, though, to be honest. I thought, for me, 8 and 1 to be the favorites. But to mention Out of the Darkness's form line as well, you've got William Robertson and Safe Passage there, which are fantastic runs. So good race, Nico. Even though she might need the run, I'm going to lean towards Perfect Witness.
Yeah, so we don't know who the rider is yet, but they've got to get a lightweight rider. I don't know who they're going to lean towards. That is just conjecture if we do have a guess at it. But still, there is no rider as at 8:30 this morning on a Saturday. This is very competitive. You mentioned Super Silvano. I think he's a nice horse, and he's obviously up here for the feature races. They're going to put him into the features, I think. A very interesting race. Out of the Darkness, I think, is an up-and-coming horse. I think he'll go pretty well today. Like you mentioned, the filly Perfect Witness ran a great race to Puerto Manzano loss. But as you mentioned too, the rest factor is a big one. Most of these are having their first run in the new season. So that race, tread warily.
Very warily.
Maybe.
Almost, yes.
Almost field there. Okay, race 8, 4 for the fillies and mares, 98 divided handicap. It's over a mile. Here you can scratch number 7, Dancing Arabian. So only 6 runners participate. Number 5, Peyton's Tears, is the mount of J.P. van der Merwe. Tongue Tie goes on 3, Mike's Chicken. The favorite, Magical Flight. Well, she got her mojo back. She got her confidence back winning last time out. And she won that really well. She's 18-10 from 5-2. 7-2, Hollywood Bound. 9-2, Sister Light and Peyton's Tears. Your thoughts?
My thoughts, well, Hollywood Bound will be the one for me. She is coming off a rest. But Randall Simons, Roy Magna, has run well fresh as well, notably. Drawn 1. And on those last few runs, I think a big chance here, despite the 58 kilograms. Respect for number 6, Magical Flight. As you say, very much in form, but she's up in class. And she did win last time in a poor time, must say that, but she's got 52 kilograms. So she's certainly going in, but I wouldn't be jumping on her. And then number 5, Peyton's Tears. Wow, it's about time she came through and won a race. If we go back to from here to eternity form line, she was just under 2 lengths behind Hollywood Bound and is 4.5 kilograms better off. This is not the first time I'm talking about her in her form lines. She needs to come through and do the job. And then a bit of value, I thought Tafuti, the daughter of Flower Alley, 189 days off though. But Mike DeCock did say well and include. On best form, she'd be a player. So long story cut short, I'm going to go probably each one Hollywood Bound.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll go Hollywood Bound there. Magical Flight, you mentioned, is a huge step up. I mean, she picked up a 5-point penalty, but the fact is she's running it from a fillies and mares 80 to a 98. It's a huge step up in class. We liked her last time out. I think you and I did the show. We really I thought she'd go close to winning, and she did. She won it really easily, but today is a different kettle of fish completely. I would default to your choice to Hollywood Bound because I know that we've always liked her, and she comes from a 1 draw. She does race well fresh too, which is a good thing. And Clafouti, there's interesting comments of Mike DeCock there. That's got to be a runner too, even though it has to carry 61.5. Yeah.
If I may add there, I must tell all the punters out there, just start including Mike DeCock more than you usually would, because it's champion season coming now, and Mike DeCock's going to be stepping them up.
Yeah, I'm due to actually visit his yard sometime next week, just to have a look around there and scout around and see a few things. So maybe I'll report back on that on this channel sometime towards the latter part of next week. Okay, we move on to the last of the day. It's a fillies and mares 76 divided handicap. It's over a mile. And in race 9, the jockey changes for number 8, Cerulean Dancer, who I think you liked at a big price last time out. Cabello Mazzignani rides that. And that's the only change in the last of the day. Let's go to the betting for the last. Well, the money did come early for this high roller. shortened from 33 to 10 to 2 to 1 high roller, is now out to 22 to 10. So it's begun to drift again, but that is the favorite. 4 to 1 Strange Magic, who Alistair Cohen races with Lawrence Werners. 11 to 2 twice as Wild. And then outside money for this Little Miss Sunshine, number 10, who's coming from 16 to 1 to 8.5 to 1. That's the money horse in the last race. And that's how they're betting. 7 to 1 Bird in Space. Competitive fillies and mares 76 in the last again. And what are you making it? Or how are you faring each up against each other?
Very competitive. I've studied this card without looking at the betting here, because I'm just looking at my selections and I'm quite surprised. My first selection is number 5, Twice as Wild. We know Grand Maroon's in good form. I don't mind those form lines, that irrevocable Dream. Nice form line. There's been 3 winners from that form line. Is up to 1,600 meters. But it looked like she enjoyed the 15 last time, so we'll throw her in. And that merit rating, I don't mind at 66. My next 2 selections, I can't believe their prices. Firstly, the 4 Seconda Aurora, Paul Matcher, Josh Solomon's, merit rating down 2. I thought would have a chance here in this race. If we go back to the run on the 28th of July, over the course and distance against Stronger, wasn't disgraced behind Dancing Arabian, drawn 1 today. And my next selection, I sees up at 14 to 1, Gilded Grey, Marco van Rensburg for Fani Bronkhorst. Even though it's theoretically held by my second choice, Seconda Aurora, on the Dancing Arabian form line, I like the way that she's been going along, and she's drawn 5, and she also likes the course and distance. And her merit ratings come down to 60. So those are my first 3, but obviously it's a tough race. We have to mention number 2, High Roller. Number 3, Bird in Space, by the way. Adam, as he did say, obviously a bad draw and a chance, running on. This is the half-sister to White Fang, by the way. Bird in Space. So, yeah, we'll be running on, but just the draw is a bit of a worry.
Yeah, the draw.
And then also Alistair and Lawrence's horse, Strange Magic. That was a very nice win last time. But the time wasn't strong. Step up in class. So let's see how she goes. For me, 5, 4, 9, some real value.
Yeah, 4, 5, and 9. I know when you gave me your PA numbers earlier, which we've got on the Take a Bet show, that is up with Chloe Andrews a bit later on this morning. I also chucked in the 2 High Roller because of that run to Pyromaniac last time. I ran out of her boots in that race. It was only a 6-horse field, but she did run a very good race. And we'll see how Bless My Stars runs earlier on the day. But she did finish 6 lengths adrift, but that was a very, very good run. Now, since she put the earmuffs, or since Clint Binder put the earmuffs on her, she seems to have become a different animal. So that's a tough race to end off the day on. And as you heard from Lyle, if he's liking horses at 20 to 1 and 14 and 16 to 1, it could well be another field race, I'm afraid, today in a competitive lineup. Okay, so that takes care of our preview show for Turffontein. We've got racing tomorrow out at Greyville. Happy to report that the Ghost Rider will be back on the channel tomorrow with their selections for that, and also for Monday. Lyle, remains for me to say have a good day's racing. We'll catch up with you later at the track, but thanks very much for all the time and effort put into studying today's card.
And I have your binoculars for you, so I shall see you there.
Okay, yeah, thanks very much. So those will come in handy as we call them home out at Turffontein today. Been a great pleasure bringing you the preview on Clocking the Gallop. Have a good day at the Big T today. Bye-bye.